It is 8 o'clock. It is Tuesday, October 21st. This is the Michigan One DMR Tech Net TV show. We're on Zoom. We are live with our special guest tonight, Ben VE2VB. And our discussion tonight will be, and we're going to show you guys what the Brandmeister website is, what Hoseline is, how to access it, and also their SelfCare. Ben will also take questions at the end of the show. And I'm supposed to mention, somebody sent me an email, said, if you want to subscribe to our newsletter to get our weekly DMR TechNet newsletter, send an email to subscribe@michigan1dmrtech.net, and we'll get you added to the email list. So we've got a good crowd tonight, and if you have questions, hang on to them, but we're going to go through and talk all about Brandmeister, which is, I guess, the leading DMR company out there. And you guys don't know it, they have a website which is really cool. It'll answer a lot of your questions. It'll show you a lot of details and also helps you figure out things. So without further ado, we'll welcome our good friend Ben VE2VB, who's the administrator for Brandmeister Canada. Ben, welcome back to the Michigan One DMR TechNet.
Yeah, thank you, Dana. I just responded to your invitation talking about Brandmeister, and I'm the, like you said, Brandmeister Canada administrator. So we do connect people all across Canada, but even though our server is accessible, people can connect on, whether if you're from the United States, Canada, or anywhere in the world. There's no limitation or no restrictions to connect on. So therefore, there's majorly people from Canada connected on our server, a couple of American stations, and foreign station as well. I'm not sure I'm gonna learn you something, but the presentation will be in two parts. The first will be to cover the use of Hoseline, because anyone that doesn't have a radio, or even if you have a radio and you want to listen to DMR from the Brandmeister network, then you can go on the internet and with any browser. And since with any browser, you'll be able to listen and see what's actually going around the globe. So whenever someone is keying up on a talk group, transmitting on the talk group, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to share already my screen, so just to make sure that people see what I'm talking about. Just got to find out the right screen. That might be complicated because I see a bunch of screen in front of me, and I don't even know how the things work.
So find the screen that has the information you want to share and click on that.
It's just of authorization. And there, I think I got it. Let me see. Like I said, I'm not too familiar with Zoom because we were using something else, but Dana, Zoom is asking me to turn it off and to come back.
Tell you what, you want me to just share my screen? I've got your main website up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
So I think, yeah.
Stand by. You get to the right screen. I'm like you, I've got 3 monitors, so I want that one. Ben, can you see it now?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I'd like you to go first on Hoseline. No, just go into a browser and type Hoseline.
Oh. Hold on.
You had it down below, by the way.
Yeah, because it's right there.
Yeah. So if you've played with Hoseline, you notice that on the upper left corner you have a moon. This is just flipping from daytime vision to nighttime vision. So it turns to clear or dark. Click on it. Click on the moon there on the upper corner, upper left.
Light
So
mode and dark mode.
exactly, dark mode or light mode. Then you can return to dark mode. The next thing, if you haven't played with, if you now you see transmission coming from all over the world. We see from China, we see from United States, from Canada, and say that you want only see stations in the US transmitting. Click on everything, on the word everything, just the word everything.
Okay.
A drop-down menu will appear and you click on everything once more. So that will remove everything from the screen. And then you can click on United States, the last one down below on the list.
That is cool.
So what you see now is only stations in the US. And you could say, okay, well, I want to see station in the US and I also want to see station in Canada. So return to the US flag that you see up where everything was under that.
Stand by.
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
hit
Click on the US flag. And now click on Canada. So you can filter the countries that you want to hear from. Now, we're seeing them. And when you see a red, every square that you're seeing is a talk group, and you see the call sign of the transmitting station. When someone is transmitting, you see on the first line right next to the chronometers, you see, for example, 3121, the second on top left, second one, Kentucky. When you see like the person icon appear, it's because that person is transmitting. So KY4AC is actually transmitting, and he's been transmitting for 12 seconds, 13 seconds. That's the way it works. Now, if you want to hear that station, because every how do you say highlighted in red, the contour, red contour?
Oh, the red outline of it.
Yeah, the red outline. The red outline are active talk group, and you can listen to. To listen to a talk group, you just got to click twice within that talk group. So say, for example, you want to hear 3118 on the upper left. Click on it twice. And you will see a message down that says subscribe to 3118. It's momentarily green, and just to tell you that you're actually listening to that. I don't know, Dana, if you are sharing your audio with that. Are you?
I'm not. Give me a minute here. Let me stop sharing. Stand by because I have to click a button. Stand by. We'll get right back there.
Yeah.
Share the sound. Let's go back to it.
N9DLP, Gene in Rochester, no traffic.
Yeah. Okay, so when you want to listen to another one, you have to unregister from that talk group, but you don't have that much to do. You just go on the talk group that you want to listen to, and you double click on it. It unregistered you from the previous talk group you were listening on, and it brings you to the last double clicked talk groups.
I've got your 30252.
Yeah, Saskatchewan. It's a Saskatchewan, so, well, unfortunately, the guy has stopped transmitting, but go into any other outlined talk group, so we'll see exactly.
We can go ahead and open it up. Any stations, call sign, suffix, Alpha through Quebec, without traffic bulletins or announcements for the net. Please come now.
Okay, Dana, well, that's good.
Alpha Charlie 9, Quebec Mike, AC.
There.
Very good, very good. Now, this is for listening to one talk group at a time. You can cut the audio momentarily.
Hey Ben, how do I turn the audio off?
Oh, Click on another one that it's not occupied for the moment. I'd
Okay.
like to talk about another option on the upper line. You see player.
Yes.
Okay. There's a couple of things that you have to know. On players, you can listen to more than one talk group. So you can select them from the drop-down list. You see the little arrow on the right bottom line. Click over there, and now you have like 92 countries in Europe and so on. So you can scroll down the list, and you can add more talk groups. One more thing that this function does, you see an S meter right underneath the talk group 313146. You see on the right up, there's a little square, and right underneath that, you see a white line. This
Okay.
this white line is an S meter. And how does the S meter works? When you see a yellow color, that means that the signal is less than minus 20 dBm. When the line appears in green, it's between minus 20 dBm and minus 3 dBm. And when the line turns red, you're above minus 3 dBm. So that's the meaning of the colors of this S meter line. You got it?
That is cool. That is cool.
Yeah. It may, I think it's very, very simple, and there is not much more to do with that. But one other options is, well, you can click on the stop, the little red, little white square, which is stop for listening to, and that's about it. I don't
That's
think
really cool.
I don't think there's much more. Some of the things that we should say about Hoseline. Hoseline has been revamped. They worked very hard on it since June 2021. Before June 2021, when you were listening to Hoseline, the quality, audio quality wasn't that great. But now, when you got a good browser, a computer that is fast, that to decode fast enough, and a good connection, I should say that any browser like Safari, Chrome, Edge, or whatever the browser you're using, the audio quality is as good as a good Chinese radio. Are there any questions about Hoseline? Dana?
I don't see any, or I don't hear any.
No.
Hey, I have a question, Ben.
Yep.
Can you listen to a tech channel on Hoseline?
A tech channel. What do you mean?
That would be like 310 through 319, the talk around channels.
No. To avoid clutter, there's avoid clutter, only talk groups between. The only talk groups you can listen to through Hoseline are the talk group between 90 and 9999. So between 90 and 9,999. Those are the only talk groups you can listen to.
310 sounds like it would be there.
310, yes. 310. But if you want to listen to, for example, a cluster, talk group number 8, number 5, you ever heard of?
And number 9.
Yeah, well, talk group number 9 was for local, but talk group number 8 is one of the very popular talk group number for using with clusters. You know what the cluster is?
You talked about it one time on our show. Why don't you go ahead and explain again? It's the link system. We call it the link system here in the US with repeaters or so on.
Yeah. So say, for example, that you have, I'll give you the example that we're using here in Quebec. We got a river called the St. Lawrence River. And the amateur radio club that I belong to is located on the south shore of the St. Lawrence River, on the other side. Me, I'm on the north side. So there are repeaters on the south shore and on the north shore. But the distance between them makes that if you're actually mobile, you barely make it into the south shore if you're on the northern part. So what we've done, we built a cluster zone. By building the cluster zone, we said, okay, we're going to link those two repeaters, but only from one talk group. That's the talk group that will link those two repeaters together. So when someone keys up a transmission on the north shore repeater, it is retransmitted on the south shore and so on. It's just like having a static talk group with many repeaters on the same static talk group, but we're not static. But whenever you have a repeater in a cluster zone, and we can build as many cluster zones as you want, and drop the repeater, we drag the repeater into the cluster zone. So you can have like repeaters located anywhere within the same cluster zone. I don't know if it's understood for you, if you have questions about this, but that's the way it works. It's just like connecting two repeaters from one talk group only.
Interesting.
Very practical, at least. Yeah. So just to wrap it up with Hoseline, the only talk group you can listen to are between the talk group 90 to 999, 9,999. Is that okay with you, Dana?
That's cool.
Yeah. And there's good information that you can find on Brandmeister website on the news section. All these little things that I'm talking to you about, they come right from there. So multiple talk group listening, solo mode. Solo mode was the first one that you clicked on one talk group and then you click on another and it disconnects you from the first. You hear the second and so on. So that's the solo mode. Well, like I said, since June 2021, improved audio quality. The real-time VU meter that I showed you with the different colors, meaning the signal. And actually, all the browsers, they do support the Hoseline audio retransmission. If there's
Hey, you want to go over, Ben, the documentation, which is this little icon over here? Because a lot of people don't know, you guys have, that's your wiki. You can get information on what you can do, what you shouldn't do, and how to, if there's troubles, and how to troubleshoot problems.
open up just open up, Dana, a new web page, a new browser.
Okay.
A new page, just a new page on the plus sign there, and Google on the search bar, say Brandmeister Canada Wiki. Brandmeister Canada Wiki. First one.
Right here?
Yep. We're using the Brandmeister Canada Wiki, and you see my call sign right over there.
Mm-hmm.
If you scroll down below, you'll see different sections. And all the repeaters and the team that we have here to manage Brandmeister requests across Canada, these are our persons involved with the team. Now keep going, scrolling down. Yeah. So you see the commands, you see the talk groups, and then you'll have the repeaters that people wanted to have their information published over the Brandmeister Canada Wiki. So we go by province. So VO1 is the Maritimes, Newfoundland, Labrador, and the east of the country, maritime regions, and then Nova Scotia. And in Nova Scotia, we need to update 2 or 3 things because there are 2 or 3 repeaters that joined in the last couple of weeks. So we're just waiting for some of the information, and we'll put it on right over there. And then you go to Prince Edward Island, and then Quebec, and then from east up to west, and from British Columbia to end up. When we got a message to pass, we pass it over there. And when people are requesting what is the frequency, what repeater, what's the ID, we point them to the Brandmeister Canada Wiki, and we try to keep it up to date as much as possible.
That is good to know, Ben.
That's good to know for at least for our server. But instead of going to Brandmeister Canada Wiki, if you just type in Brandmeister Wiki, then you will have the possibility to select the country you want.
I didn't know.
Yeah, go ahead. Just say Brandmeister Wiki. And then instead of being focused on Canada, then you'll have different countries. No, just go on the first one. Just go on the first one. Yeah, that one. And then you can select the language, and then after that you can select the country. We got Canada, United States, France, and a couple of them. That's not what I have when I type it in here. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
KSA EDQ monitoring statewide 1.
Yeah.
We're
Okay.
picking up Michigan on that one.
Okay, now your my view is very similar to yours, talking about the management console. I should call it management console, because right under where you see on the left my device and device log, I have BM3021 server. And BM3021 server, as administrator, I can get into any of the repeater connected to our server. So if someone says, can you add a KC0 MYP as administrator of any repeater connected, I can do that. I have the privilege for doing this. But there is more to it. Go to settings, upper right. The only thing that you can do there is, you see there's a checkbox that you can put in display alert, but it's very annoying because you're seeing, just click it, but keep your pointer on the checkbox. Because every time someone will be connecting, disconnecting, and so on, depending on your level of access to the server, me as I'm the administrator, when I click on it, there you see repeater alarm cleared, but it's very annoying because it's not useful. So you can uncheck the box. And then you pick your language, and then your login. Go to your login, and then
I've got a password manager.
If you go back on KC0 MYP, you'll see that you have different options. You got your profile settings, and SelfCare. The SelfCare is something important because that's where you put information about your device. So say, for example, that you're a repeater owner, or you have hotspots, and you want to give your equipment descriptions. It's there that you can do it. And the most important things is when you see down below the Hotspot Security, the password that you put over there, It's got to be the same password that you're putting into your WPSD hotspot configuration, or what, depending on what hotspot you're using or repeater. It's got to match this password.
Otherwise, it'll show up yellow. You can't hook up because you got the wrong Wi-Fi password.
You'll not be able to connect to the server because it sees the hotspot with a password, and that password has to match exactly the hotspot security password. Well, I wish I could share mine, that you could see how different mine is. I'm going to give it another try.
If you want to, yeah.
Okay, it's going to work. It's going to work this time. I just grant permission to the software to access Zoom, and then are you seeing this?
Yes, we are.
You are. Good. Login. And you see, the Brandmeister Canada server is 3021. 302 is Canada, and 1 is for the server number 1. And we actually don't need to have a second server because we are actually not even at 50% of the server capacity. And I should say that the policy is as long as you have enough room to connect other repeaters across Canada, then you're not allowed to have a second server, but it depends. We're trying to work something out to have a spare server so that if we have to shut down this one for making maintenance or something like that, then, but it's not acquired yet. We're working on it. So since I got this option that you don't have, Dana, when I click on this, you are seeing menus that you not necessarily you're not seeing it into yours, right?
Correct, because you're the admin. We're not.
That's right. So system information is giving the percentage of the usage. Like I said, we're not at 50% of percentage of usage. SysUp management. Those are the guys that are making management with me. It's VE2VB Pierre. Repeater management, those are the repeaters connected to the Brandmeister Canada server. So any of these repeaters I can get into. Say, for example, VE3RXR, I can view the information, its location, time slot, last heard stations, and things like that. Or I come back there, VE3RXR and settings. So we see that VE3RXR as VE3CZK as management. It has all the possibilities. It has read settings, write settings, and it could manage CSUPs. And VA3AJB as well at the same level. But we can create, upon demand of the repeater trustee or repeater owners, we can add peoples with only read settings or read and write settings, but cannot add any other CSUPs. That's what it stands for. And now we're also seeing that VE3RXR, as description, give hello and welcome to Manitoulin DMR repeater. VE3RXR is a Tate UHF repeater running 25 watts located in the current location, a Little Current, Ontario, covering Manitoulin Island. What they've decided to put static talkgroup 302, 3029, 302050, if you see my pointer, 302310. So those 4 talkgroups, they're in static mode on talkgroup number 1, on time slot number 1. That means that if any of these 4 talk groups goes on the air, instantly the first of the 4 that will go on the air on time slot 1 will be the one keeping the priority to transmit. If someone else is transmitting on 3029 while 302 will be on the air, as long as the 302 keeps on the air and is in the hang time, usually hang time is like 20 seconds, basically. Until that 20 seconds drop down, 3029 won't be able to transmit. So we don't have interest of having too many static talk group on the same time slot, because it may take long before someone else's get an answer back from another talk group on the same time slot. And here on time slot number 2, we have only one talk group, and it's 302004. Now, I talked about clusters. We'll get back to it. But we have schedule statics. Say, for example, this guy said, we want on Saturdays from 11 hours to 14 hours up until, well, it should be, it will expire on the 2022-10-29, so it's already expired, but I don't know if it's still working. There's a date to it, right? At least. So it's it will turn on to talk group 91 slot 1 in static mode by this schedule written down. And same for Fridays at 20:30, Saturday 0 hours. So I'm not sure if it's still enforced, this schedule. At least we would have to try it. That's for repeater. And when you got this access, you can drop down calls. So if there's actually someone transmitting and you need for any reason the repeater owner needs to drop down the traffic, you just click on these buttons and then it drops down the conversation. Any question?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. That's the bridge management. We have bridge with different other systems. XLX, you know what XLX are mostly in D stars, I guess. Mm-hmm. And CAN Turbo is DMR mark feeded. DMR mark.
Ben, question for you regarding the scheduled statics. What time zone are those in? Your local time zone or UTC or? Well,
I think that it's Eastern time because the repeater owner is in Ontario, which is Eastern time zone. It goes based on the location, because if you're looking at repeater management and you say, for example, V3 or V1 CRE, you see there the location. That would be, location is in the Maritime, so it's 1 hour more, 1 hour ahead of Eastern time zone. You and I, when you're in Michigan or whether if you're in Florida, we're in the Eastern time zone, right? Correct. So these are Atlantic. Atlantic is 1 hour ahead of us. So if it's 8 o'clock here, it's 9 o'clock in the Atlantic.
Mm. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Cluster. Now we're getting into the cluster. Okay. You see here, I can create cluster. I just have to click on add. I give the cluster the name that the person wants. So Nova Scotia decided to have a cluster zone on talk group number 4. So who are the members? The members of the cluster name Nova Scotia on 3. And by the way, this is not a talk group, by the way. 302.0.27 is not a talk group. That's an ID that the server gives to this cluster. So the members, just by putting the pointer on members, tells me what are the repeaters, and we got to be careful saying that who are the repeaters, members of the Canada cluster zone or Nova Scotia cluster zone, because you see there are some hotspots with they call it dual hotspots with 2 antennas. You're all familiar with it, eh? Those 2 antennas, dual hotspots, the Brandmeister server sees them as a repeater.
Correct.
So you can have your hotspot, dual hotspot, and put it in the cluster zone. You won't be able to do it with a single antenna or single time slot hotspot. So all these repeaters, actually here, I'm taking the one in Nova Scotia. All these repeaters, V1D, RR, FQ, RQM, and so on up down till VE9, SJN.
Mm-hmm.
When someone is transmitting on any of these repeater on talk group number 4, all these repeater goes on the air and retransmit on talk group number 4 what is transmitted on any of these repeaters. It becomes very practical for establishing a link between repeaters and different zones just by one talk group and having nothing else attached to it. And it's not complicated. Any administrator can create a zone, and you go on and you drop down the repeaters you want to have into the talk group. Now, you will see other options here. Usually, okay, I'm going to get back to members. These repeaters, they're in the same cluster zone on talk group number 4, and it's in static mode because when it's up and it's listening all the time, if a signal is transmitted on talk group number 4 on any of these repeaters, it will be retransmitted on all the repeaters appearing in the cluster members. Now, you can limit the access to talk group number 4 only by these repeaters, by any of these repeaters in the cluster members list. But to me, it becomes unuseful. But you have the possibility to say, okay, well, the guy there up in, say, 300 miles away, you know, a guy and says, okay, well, I'd like to communicate with you on talk group number 4, but I only have a hotspot here. I'm in the building and I have no antennas, but I got my hotspot and my HT, and I want to reach TG4. He can, because he only have a hotspot with 1 time slot. What you can do, but you're opening it to everybody. You say, okay, well, we're going to keep the cluster zone on talk group number 4, and we're going to create an external talk group. So we can merge any talk group within that cluster zone, and from anywhere with time slot 1 or time slot 2, you can reach TG4. But personally, I'm not doing this because it becomes useless to have people come in. If you want to limit to your members, to club members, and you don't want to have someone from Europe coming into your things, if you're giving them the opportunity to to come into your zone, your cluster zone on talk group 4 by an external talk group, well, you open it up to the world. Hey, Dana?
I had a question, Ben, on something else.
Yeah.
If you go up to the user dashboard, top left-hand corner, where you can see the worldwide map, and it lists the repeaters and hotspots.
Yep.
So if you have a full duplex hotspot, is that listed under hotspots, or it's a mini repeater? So would it be listed under repeaters?
That's a very good question. Your hotspot is considered like your dual AT is considered like a repeater because you can drag them into cluster zones because it has two antennas. But when you configure your hotspot, you're not saying it's a repeater. That's a hotspot. So it should be listed under hotspot and not under repeaters.
Well, my duplex hotspot shows up under repeaters. It doesn't show up under hotspots.
But you know what, Stan? Repeaters have different ID numbers than hotspots. So repeaters have their own repeater ID. Mine is 302219. That's my repeater ID. But when you're using a hotspot, you're not using a repeater ID. You're using your own ID with a dash and a number.
Mm-hmm.
So that should point onto the BrandMeister as a hotspot and not as a repeater.
That's what I thought too. But if you do a search on repeaters and you put in my call, one hotspot will show up. Actually, there's two that I have that are that way, and that's the way they went in.
QJZ, right?
Correct.
Nano hotspot.
Yep.
It's,
that's the one that's active here now, which I don't use real often, but I keep it active.
RVB is my repeater, VE2VB. So you see that's an MMDVM, but it's a repeater. I built it up from two Motorola CDM 1550 radio, and with an MMDVM board in it, and it works 24/7. It's been working like this for 8 years. Never had any problems. Perfect match. You know, it's quite complete in terms of BrandMeister is everywhere around the globe, in China, in Asia, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and we're actually having a migration from many repeaters in the Maritimes in the eastern part of Canada, moving from the other network to BrandMeister. And there's only about one or two repeater left in the Maritimes that are not on BrandMeister, and it's just a matter of time because it becomes like mostly an isolation. They're quite isolated from the world. Any question, Dana?
I was going to say, you don't use it, you lose it. Plain simple in there. Two questions. One, will you talk about device logs? Because I see that quite a bit on the Telegram information that people put. And they would say, check your device logs. What is it we should be looking for when we're doing that?
Well, it just says here if you run into a problem that like your device is not connecting because there's a wrong password or no recognition to the server, it will appear over there. But when you see verified, everything is correct. If I put a wrong password into my cold plug and I want to connect to BrandMeister, it'll say password failed.
Gotcha. Can you go back to the user dashboard for just a minute? And if someone is transmitting, they're in red in the map, And
Sure.
if there's no activity, they're black. Is that correct?
Yes. But you see, actually, Russia, someone is transmitting over there, and North America is full red. And it's easy to understand because this is the nighttime over here, and well, sun is coming up over there in France, Spain here. Yeah, Spain. When someone is transmitting, that's what you see. You see the contour of the country turning to red. And if you go to Laster DMR, then you see them pass by very quickly. But you can, what you can do, you can say, okay, well, I'm going to filter all these results that I'm seeing over there by, oh, I want to see the VE2. So then I only see the VE2 goes by. Because that search window over here is a filter thing. If I remove that, I got everything, but I can pause. I say, okay, well, just enough. I'm going to go and see, okay, well, VA3 CVSE zone actually, and you can listen to him. If you click there, you see that. And let me see. We had a speaker back then. Oh yeah, right there. See, it goes to Hoseline, and it pops Hoseline on the talk group you just clicked on, and then you have the possibility to hear the audio from it.
Interesting. Let's see who else got questions. I've been doing all the talking here. And Stan, who else has a question about Brandmeister? I'm surprised Dave hasn't raised his hand yet.
You know, I joined your group like 6 or 7 months ago, something like that. We have a DMR Tech Talk on 30227. It has nothing to do with what you're doing. What you're doing is very structured. It's, you know, you remember just a couple weeks ago, we had some of my friends came on and they were listening to your tech TV things. And they called me after that net, and it says, hey, it doesn't exist here in Canada. We don't have that. So they were very impressed by what you're doing there on the DMR Tech TV and on the DMR Tech Net on Mondays. And I agree with that. So I joined the group just because you talked to one of my friends, VE2 Whiskey Echo Sierra, Sylvain, and he told me about it. I came on, and then I stayed still. Last night I couldn't attend the Tech Net last night, but today I'm okay, and I'll probably be there next week. So congratulations on what you're doing.
Well, we try. We're just trying to demystify DMR because sometimes it has that steep learning curve, and sometimes where's Brian? Is he still with areas? Yeah, Brian had the best example, NJT. He goes, it takes time to understand it, and all of a sudden one day a light bulb went off and he figured it out.
I was a little bit suspicious about having someone to learn something on these things tonight, because what I just present you is available to everyone. Oh, maybe not the administrator, server administrator thing, but for all the rest, everybody has the chance to practice everything that's being shown since the very beginning of tonight's net.
Well, there's not an owner's manual for this page. That's what's really cool. So thank you for going over it. But
to me, it's very intuitive. It's nothing complicated. It's just a matter of where I click. Depending on where I click, I got different results. But once you know that you can filter the countries, filter and focus on call signs or whatever, then this is really well made.
It is really cool. Dave, you always have a question for us.
I was just curious. Um, all of this, you say you can go to the wiki to find repeaters and stuff.
Yeah.
Is this also in the Unified Radios database, which used to be the RFinder database?
That I don't know because I don't have our finder. I know what it is, but I don't know where they take their information from. I'll tell you, Dave, what's the challenge here? You don't need permission to connect to any server, whether if it's in the States or in Switzerland, Canada. Anybody can have a repeater and connect to our server, and they go on the air.
Mm-hmm.
The only how it works, the only thing that it's validated, it's the call sign and the radio ID. If the radio ID says, okay, it matches the call sign, then you're up and running. Now, the challenge is, how do I get information, repeater information from someone that just decided to connect to our server and not telling us what is the location of the repeater, what type of repeater it is, who's the trustee, who do I call if I got any problem with one of the repeater connected to our server. So this is a real challenge to find these information because there is no forms that they can fill and that I have access to. They open up an account when they create their SelfCare and they ask for Brandmeister access. They do that, but it goes, I don't have access to that database. That database goes to the master NL server probably. I don't know, but I don't have access to it. And that's the challenge.
Okay. Well, I mean, I have reasons now to essentially be driving between here and Cornwall, Ontario, maybe once or twice a year.
Mhm.
And I would like to essentially be able to take my DMR, in particular, take my R finder with me. I use that as a travel radio quite a bit. So it'd be nice to be able to go to some place like Cornwall and be able to pull the R finder out and use the GPS that's in it to find the local DMR repeaters
Yeah.
in their database. Yeah.
I may suspect that the database, when someone is opening up an account for a repeater, it has to put the latitude, longitude, so the location of the repeater, and then maybe it populates into a database. I can't tell you 100%, but I'm pretty sure it has to do with that. Because what you're seeing, if you're clicking on the repeater, I'm going to go back into my SelfCare admin right here, repeater management, and any of the repeater here, VO1 UHF, for example, view, you see the GPS
coverage map. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So based on that, the server owns the location of the repeater, and if we have these information, it's probably populated into a database somewhere that with your RF finder says what is the repeater nearby from your actual location. No, it's a great looking interface and very practical.
Looks real similar to Repeater Book.
Yeah, Repeater Book. Yeah. The problem with Repeater Book is information is not always accurate.
That is correct.
Well,
That's all.
that was the thing with R finder. It was crowdsourced.
Yeah. And what I would suggest, if I could, I would suggest Repeater Book to have a renew information button somewhere, or the person that has a repeater with all the credentials, information of the repeater, the frequency, tone, and so on, and at least once a year, there should be a message sent to the owner. It says, hey, you still have your repeater up and running? Is the frequency still in use? Give it a proof that it's still there. Otherwise, remove it from the database. because it's no use for information on repeaters that are no longer on the air.
I think he's working on that. He's also got a thing where anyone can report the details on that. So
It is an excellent tools, and it's a good reference. I got it in some of my portable device, the repeater book application, and based on the GPS information from my mobile phone or my tablet, I see the nearby repeaters, and most of the time it's accurate. But there's many, just for an example, there's a local club around here, and they do advertise for over 20 years an ATV, a TV transmitter repeater. It has never existed, and it's still listed.
you'd report that. Our friend Kurt, KF0CQN. Kurt, you usually have a good question or two.
Oh, I'm just following along here. I don't spend a lot of time on the Brandmeister website personally. I mean, once I got my hotspot up and connected, I'm not there much, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of just neat to kind of get a guide here and get a walkthrough of it.
Like
So
most of the people.
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Like most of the people, once you have your things connected up and running, then there is no use for coming back to the web browser, the web page there. And
Yep.
one thing, it's new and it's since a couple of days. I don't know exactly since when, but Radio ID has removed the family name. So now you were seeing, I do have a 578 and an 878 Anytone radio with full display, and it was given the full name, my first name and my last name and my home location. And you will notice if you have updated your contact list into your Anytone radio, you go to Radio ID and user CSV, you download it and you put it in your Anytone radio, you will notice that the last name has disappeared. Check it out.
Interesting.
Check it out.
Interesting.
And it has, I've been told that it has to do with, here there's a law in the province of Quebec, that's Bill 25. And Bill 25 is pretty wide and has a lot of grip, because if someone takes a picture of you without your consent, you can pursue them. If they use, and today's with AI, once your picture is uploaded somewhere, you lose control of it.
Yeah, they got the privacy laws on that.
So actually, you can be pursued if you haven't got the permission to use the photos or the videos from a person that has not been given his permission to.
Rick or Tom, either of you two fine gentlemen have a comment or question?
Oh, yeah, just one kind of suggestion question. I'm not sure if it's there or not, but the actual description of the talk group or talk group name,
Yes.
is that available on Hoseline somehow?
No. There's a place for that.
Come on.
No. Wait a second.
I go look at talk groups, I can find it, but
Yeah, I came across that today, and even this afternoon, let me see. I was on that.
Talk to you later on. This is David K0DSV. Thank you for being with me here this evening. We sure appreciate it. I'll talk to you again soon. See you on the radio later. Have a 73 0 but DSV.
Sadar. Believe me, there's a place where
Under information.
Under information.
Talk groups.
Oh yeah, you're right.
yeah, to go find
So,
talk groups, you can find
yeah.
it that way, but it would be helpful, if that, that name appeared on the talk the little square in Hoseline, just so you could know what the interest is of that talk group.
Okay, so if we go to Hoseline,
Mm-hmm.
we got USA Bridge, Kentucky, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania. That's the name of the talk group.
Right. But when you get down into the 31509 or whatever, those aren't there.
Oh,
The statewide
like,
talk groups, the four character talk groups, yeah,
okay.
those are the statewide talk groups. But when you get into the other ones, there's nothing there.
Okay. Well, I'm taking note of this. Give me an example of the talk group you talk about.
31266.
31266.
Yeah,
And
if there's anybody
312
on it, probably not. But
31266.
yeah, that is the Michigan Nets channel.
Yeah. It should appear on Hoseline here. If it appears on Hoseline, like 31266, if someone transmit on 31266, then it should.
I just saw it down on the left column.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Things moving around on the screen, but I saw.
Wait a second. We're gonna remove all the countries and keep only US.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Someone keyed up on 31266.
Yeah, I
Stan
saw
was.
it briefly on the left column there.
Where is he?
Should be numerical right there. Second from the right column.
Michigan Nets.
Yep, there it is.
Does it show up?
Yep.
There's Tom.
Right there. And ATJ is transmitting right now. And
Right. So some of those others that are like 6 or 7 characters are probably people using the repeater local ID as their talk group.
Okay. Okay. Well, I wrote it down, and I'm gonna make suggestions for that. Thank you for
some are there and some are missing. That's interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Kirk KN6 UMV has his hand up for a question. Go ahead, Kirk.
This is Kirk, KN6UMV. I briefly turned on my video. I have a slow link, so if I start fading out, let me know and I'll turn the video link off. My question is, as I travel, sometimes I'm in areas where there's Brandmeister, sometimes it's DMR Mark, and other times, like now, I'm up in Washington State, where it's PNW Digital, similar to DMR Mark, that is based on Seabridge. My question for you would be, as somebody like me who does DMR and might be in any one of those 3 areas at any given time, how do I know what talk group numbers in one network system cross over to the same talk group numbers in another system? For example, if I'm up here on a DMR Mark and I want to talk on California 3106, how do I know that my conversation would also be copyable by somebody who was on a Brandmeister 3106? Because I'm aware that some numbers seem to automatically be bridged across and some don't. Is there a way that I could find that out?
Now, you see, if you're looking at the page, we have bridge with some other systems. But unless someone has advertised it somewhere on a wiki page or something like that, you won't find this information. It's not. You see, Brandmeister is a network, DMR Mark is another, PNW is another one, TGIF as well. So there is not necessarily a cross communication platform between all the systems. So on some talk groups, you have links between different systems, but on others, you don't. I would be very embarrassed to tell you where you can find the information. For me, I don't have the information.
Well, thank you for trying to answer the question. I do appreciate that because, as you can tell, my home base is California, where there's lots of Brandmeister and there's DMR Mark. But when I'm up here in the mountains of Washington and I would like to talk with my friends on Brandmeister back in California, I've found the solution is, of course, to get an open spot. But I was just curious if there was a way for the numbers to be known if they crossed over. And you answered the question that sounds like there is no simple answer, but thank you very much anyway, Ben.
Yeah, Kirk, I've heard your question and I understand your question as well, but definitely I don't have a perfect answer for answering to that.
Before we go to Tom for a quick question, Ben and I were talking, we mentioned this last night, and it was really cool. DMRmap.app, type that in a web browser. That shows you any Brandmeister transmission on whatever you want to listen to, which that was actually pretty cool. And you can type in the talk group you want to monitor. Go ahead, Ben.
31266. And you click enter. So if someone transmit on 31266, just like
we'll have Stan.
So Stan is transmitting from Florida, Port St. Lucie, and I'll be transmitting from Canada. So this is my transmission from my location. So I've just discovered, you made me discover that, Lena. I was not aware of that that application. Pretty useful. Nice to see that people you talk with or people transmitting on the talk group where they're located, their location.
And if you give me a minute here, I gotta get through my emails. I had a few issues with it last night. Bobby Lindsay was the name of the developer of that program. Call sign is Kilo Yankee 4 Hotel Adam Alpha Mike.
Oh, HAM.
Yeah, K4 or KY4 HAM. The creator of DMRmap.app app. That was really cool. He was on the show with us last night.
And by the way, I see that the recent calls. So Stan and I are listed down below. I don't know how many could. Do you know how many call signs it can hold up for in the recent calls?
I do not know, and we're going to try and get him on the DMR Tech Net because I thought that was really cool. It only works with Brandmeister right now, so I just keyed mine up.
Very good then.
But that looks like a very unique program that we just learned about last night. And where is Kurt? Kurt, how did you find out about that program?
Bobby put a note out on Reddit, and I caught it on Reddit. So the app is probably a week old.
Pretty new. It still smells like new, eh?
Well, he's making changes to it real quick. We talked about changing the marker for on air to red last night, and he already made the change.
Thank you, Kurt, for sharing that.
Sure. So I'm sorry, I have to run. 73 everyone.
Yeah, we're past our time. Any final questions anyone has? Tom, did you have one?
Just saying, good job to Ben. That was very thorough, and I learned about the Hoseline. I'm not an expert, but I definitely it was worth the time tonight. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks for your comment.
Any other questions, comments from anyone?
Yeah, I'll echo Tom's comments. Thank you very much, Ben. That was very enlightening.
Thank you, Rick.
And thank you, Ben. We will get this posted on our YouTube channel as well as on our website, Michigan1DMRtech.net. And Ben, thank you again for your time. It's so fun. We've been chatting all summer on Monday nights when we do the Michigan 1 DMR Tech Net show at 7:30, talk group 31266. And if you want to subscribe to our newsletter, subscribe at DMRtechnet.net, and we'll get you added to the list. Someone, as I told you, somebody complained earlier that we never met. I wanted to join, but you guys didn't list it, so we didn't explain. So hopefully we got it now. And let's see here. What are we doing next month? Hold on, I gotta find the calendar. I'm in the right. I got so many newsletters here to keep track of. Next month we are talking about different DMR networks. So that's kind of to go in with the question we had about when you're traveling or something like that. That was really cool from Kirk. So, all right, everyone, thank you very much for joining us for this month's edition of DMR Tech Net TV on Zoom. We'll do it again next month.